What do you call an ant wearing its best clothing? Take a guess for more points into the chance to win in our party. Okay, we have animal joke books, sports joke book, knock-knock joke books, and food joke books. Only $4.99 with color pages. Definitely the first way to make your read aloud with your kids exciting and fun is to have some joke books. Okay, second is you want to have discussions with your kids. This is one of my favorite new series for this. Doing your best, bravery, calmness, friendship, kindness, and happiness. Let's try calmness. That sounds interesting. So it's a different subject for each book with different concepts on each pages, like quiet. Sometimes we all need to be calm in a quiet place. Then discuss it with your children. And if you need some help learning how to, or knowing how to discuss this with your children, there are 10 tips right here on the very last page that'll help you discuss those different concepts with your kids. And there's also another series for a little bit older kids called All About series. This is diversity, but there's also all about feelings, families, and friends. And each page poses a question. So there's lots to see and read here on the page. And the last final question is, which of these 2 pages do you think is the most interesting? And as you go through the book, you'll probably get through just a couple pages a night because you'll stop and discuss the things as your children learn super important concepts about being inclusive and diversity. And we don't want to stop when they get older and can read themselves. You want to read together. It's been proven to help grow this love of reading as you read together. So have some fun stories that are just great and some that have morals, all kinds of things. So we have this series called the Read with Usborne. Starts pretty little, as you can see here, as they can just sit for a few minutes. And they're only level to themselves. There's lots in number 1 as this teaches perspective. Dinosaur Who Lost His Roars. Number 2 is in number 2 where you learn that there's a time to roar and there's a time not to roar. Love that one. Then we have the Trojan Horse. There's lots though in level 3 and lots more in level 4 as well. So that's one series that are great. Then as they get a little older, you can do maybe a 10-minute story. There's the table of contents in here. It has Pinocchio and the Magic Gifts and Dick Whittington. So here's what it looks like inside, as you sometimes have different illustrators and different authors for each story. It's a great variety pack to hear all the different stories in our 10-minute series. There's also 10-minute animal stories and 10-minute more as you need more and more stories to go on. Then we have tales of brave and brilliant girls from around the world, forgotten fairy tales of brave and brilliant girls, and forgotten fairy tales of kindness and courage. Love this one. Here's a table of contents so you can see what's in it and about how many words per page, as they can sit a little longer here and listen to the different stories and of courage. And there, as I go through and can't tell you about each story, but just know there's lots of kindness and there's lots of courage going on in that one. Reading aloud is so great for sentence structure, but also their vocabulary. Okay, so one of my favorite ones for vocabulary is our illustrated originals, as you search originals on the website. So we have Heidi, Treasure Island, Wizard of Oz. There's almost a dozen of these different originals. And they have higher vocabulary because they're complete and unabridged, except for Odyssey. They're complete and unabridged, but a little bit higher vocabulary level, as 90% of your chapter books stop at 5th grade vocabulary. So a great way to get them above that is to read the complete and unabridged ones, as they're a little bit higher than 5th grade for that. But children can listen to books at a higher level than they're reading themselves, so definitely read those. Then we have our illustrated, so not illustrated originals, just illustrated. These are hardback with built-in bookmarks. You have Norse myths, Greek myths, Shakespeare. We have illustrated stories of Aesop's, which I love because it's divvied up by subject here in the front on greed and quarrel. So if your children have trouble with trickery, you could read the trickery stories, or fighting, you could do the quarrels, and there's tons of stories in here. There's also 2 other Aesop's books that are a little bit easier or less words for younger children if you want to ask your consultant about those. And then there's the graphic novels, and you're like, graphic novels, Shawnee, you can't read those out loud with your kids. Yes, you can. Let's read The Wizard of Oz together. Just snuggle up a little closer, which is awesome to do with your, let's get to a different color there, with your preteen or teenager, and you can both see the pictures and read, take turns reading the pages, or one of you read all of it, either way, as you learn about The Wizard of Oz. There's 12 in that series, everything from Sherlock Holmes to Shakespeare in there. And then we have a complete series, as we're getting a little bit older here, with a built-in bookmark with Jane Austen. There's also complete Dickens and complete book of Shakespeare. There's a few pictures in here, and I love the way that it explains the stories on each section as they start. So super fun there. All right, have fun reading.